What's going on, people? Merry Christmas to you. Yes, I'm up early and it's a great day. It's a great day. So, this is something new that's going on, and I'll be putting up videos. But essentially, I've gotten away from the money management program and I now have a true layaway program. So, the link to get into the program, the King program, is $3,000 for the payment plan, is below. But if you can't do that, what you could do is reserve your place, reserve pricing by getting on the layaway plan. This will lock in your pricing for 2026. You can put in 250, that's the minimum offer you can put in, up to as high as 1500, and then you can pay off the rest over time, and we'll work that out. All of those links are below, plus some more links. Also, my main channel got hacked, but I'll eventually get it back. But right now, I'm gonna be posting over here. All right, so let's talk about the true measure of wealth. There's a lot of people who talk about wealth, assets, and liabilities in very general terms. They never give specifics. At the moment, I have folks upset with me because I have talked about the facade of a narrative that they give. Now, let's say you have someone who has investments and they're making really good money. Let's say they may have some real estate, and let's say they're making $40,000, $50,000 a month from their investments, which is great for. Let me go ahead and say this clearly. As someone who's made $250,000 per month for close to a year, that is a number that doesn't move me. But here's where the calculus gets interesting. To the average person, 85% of the country makes less than $40,000 a year. So to make $40,000 a month is like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But the reality is the true measure of wealth doesn't start until you get to 15 million. Yes, you have people who have money, who can buy certain things, who can flex on the internet, and they have that money and they're making more money than you are. This is a fact. But the reality is true wealth starts at 15 million. I have a link below. You can download the wealth pack, the wealth map. It'll tell you exactly 15 million, 50 million, 100 million, a billion. So let's say you have someone on the internet that's talking about their wealth, but they never give any specific numbers. They won't even give out what their net worth is. They just kind of dance around it, and dance around it, right? But here's the thing. When I say someone isn't genuinely wealthy, and let me break it down. There's having wealth, and there's the real wealth in the world of breaking into higher level wealth. Let's go ahead and say higher level wealth. Let's say someone has a net worth of $6 million. Say this net worth cash flows for them about 30, 40,000 a month. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a positive. If most of the country was like that, everyone would be happy. But the reality is that level of wealth is not the real level of wealth. Now, as someone who's lived, like, go to the internet and put in zip code 30027 and put in the average home price. That's the neighborhood I lived in for 15 years. I got to see real wealth every day. The reason I got the Porsche 911 Turbo was this elderly couple. They were fly. She was fly. She was an older woman, but she was beautiful. Even though she must have been like 70 years old, this woman was beautiful. I can only imagine how hot she was when she was younger. And this guy, he had the Michael Douglas hair. He was older, and they would tool around Sandy Springs in that drop top 911. She was fly. She would have a leopard print, these big bodacious glasses. And I said, I want that. I want that. And I put myself in a position where I could pay cash for a 911 Turbo S. Now, let's talk about this. I put myself in the position. Now, I've got tons of videos on YouTube. Once my main channel goes back, you see. I never talk about how wealthy I am. You know why? because that does absolutely nothing for you. Okay, yeah, I'm wealthy. I got money. Okay, fine. What does that do for you? Nothing. What I try to do is instruct you on how you can get some money. I don't come up here with all this bullshit, wealth and assets and liabilities, because literally, there's a range of YouTubers that talk about wealth and liability. They never give specifics. Never. And there's a reason they don't give specifics, because it sounds good to the financially illiterate. And I'm not trying to be dismissive, but the majority of America is financially illiterate. Because this is when I watch a video, I look through it through a different money lens. As someone who was able to make $250,000 per month and then go out and buy a Porsche and a BMW in the same month and pay cash for both, and next month reload because my business. Because let's have this conversation. Everyone talks about investing, right? My investment was my business, right? And my business, and let me go ahead and break it down to you. The year I made the most money, I've worked the least amount. I was working maybe 20 hours a week, maybe, and I made $3 million that year. I was maybe working 20 hours a week. So that's been my investment. And my investment, I started selling books 2009 that came to Conundrum Publishing. That was the name of that company. And it matriculated into online courses. So from 2009 until 2023, 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. My online business was making money. So you have people who talk about, like, if you have a high income, it's eventually going to stop. Not necessarily if you know what the fuck you're doing. Not necessarily, right? So essentially, one of the things I want you guys to do, I want you guys to be wealthy. Right? Because one of the mistakes I made, like I got the Porsche, showed the delivery of the Porsche from the showroom. And this is the thing. All car people, when they saw my Porsche, they knew it was a custom build because it was yellow with a red top. They knew inherently it was custom. And that meant that I ordered that Porsche. I got exactly what I want. I didn't have to buy something that was on the market. I got exactly what I want. And the big thing is, me being wealthy doesn't help you. It doesn't help you at all. It doesn't. So to come on here and talk about my wealth, my assets, and all this stuff, that's fine for me. It doesn't help you. And that's one of the reasons I get pissed at all these operators who put out this play of wealth and stuff without instructing you how to get wealthy. That's the thing that pisses me off, because, you see The Rock, he's wealthy, he's an actor. You cannot duplicate that. You can't become The Rock. You can't become an actor. You can't replicate his wrestling career. You can't do that. But you can start a business. You can do that. You can start a business. And this is something I've been preaching. But for some reason, due to these false operators, I'm going to call them false operators, everyone's on this investing tip. All right, let me just go ahead and be really blunt with you. Unless you have a lot of money to invest, you're not going to make a lot of money from your investments. It's just simply not. And then when people give ranges like I invested 3 to 4 million, all right, that's a problem. I can tell you how much I invested in the storage auction business. It was $95,000, and that was 20 something years ago. I could tell you down to the fucking penny. So when someone's like, I invested like 3 to 4 million, really? You don't know exactly how much capital you deploy? Really? That's bullshit, and you know it. So one of the things is, I'm gonna have a lot of people coming for me. You just look at the comments, you will see a lot of people, they're gonna be really angry because I'm calling the bullshit out, because I want you to win. And you're not gonna win watching all this. And I know some of these people are your favorite YouTubers, you like them, and you get good content from them, but I got a question, and please put this in the comments. How much of these bullshit videos actually help you make money? Now, in my comments, I have people saying, because of the information that you put out, you've helped me make money. That's the difference between me and those motherfuckers. That's the difference. So, once again, understand, like, you need to be more critical who you watch and the information that you digest, because a lot of it's complete and utter bullshit. And it's like, all right, let me go ahead and explain the YouTube game to you. The YouTube game is driven by views, not subscribers. It's driven by views. And if you could get a lot of views, let's say your average video gets 30, 40,000 views, and you put out 10 of those videos, which gets you an additional 300 to 400,000 views on top of the views you're already getting from your previous content. We're talking 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 per month paychecks. So that's why they do it, because they get paid. If you, like, once again, if you have a YouTuber and they consistently have videos that are getting like 100,000 views, this person could be getting $100K, $150,000 per month. That's why they do it. That's why they wealth and investment. Like, there was this one dumbass who's talking about, well, and Jasmine DeLucci did a video about this dumbass. And he's like, if I made $1 million, I would take 70 and I would try to figure out how to get rid of 930. It sounds very, very intelligent, right? Until you start to get down to the nuance. How, Sway? How are you going to get rid of $930,000? Also, anybody that says that, they're telling you something. They're telling you that they don't know how to have a holding company. And this is why I am the only one on the internet. Well, not the only one. There's literally a handful of us. I would say maybe less than 10, which on YouTube is very, very small number. Maybe 10, 15 people talking about holding companies, right? A holding company, and let me break it down to you, and this is why you want to be part of the corporate citizen V2. A holding company completely eliminates the tax problem. Let me say that again. A holding company completely eliminates the tax problem. And this is going to be in the training. And I'm not talking about, you don't have to hire your kids. You don't have to document every lunch. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff. If you properly set up the holding company the right way, you actually create a strategy that literally will solve all of these tax problems, all of these gurus and people on the internet. Because I sit there and I'm like, okay, you'll see someone that's like, you make a lot of money, you pay a lot of taxes. Actually, if you were financially literate and you knew how to do this, you would not pay a lot of money in taxes. You would not. Like, give you a scenario. Next year when I get rolling, I'm gonna put myself on payroll for about $250,000, maybe $300,000 a year. And that's gonna be the active money that I take out of the company, and it will be taxed at a high level. And my Social Security will stop after $135,000. They'll stop taking that out because there's a limit for that. And then when I want to take money out the company, I would write a settlement check from the holding company to my personal checking account, and then I would pay taxes on that money. So the goal is not to take the money out. The goal is to leave the money in the company, let the money keep rolling, let it keep stacking, and then get yourself some assets. And I will say my plan is to buy apartment complexes, not houses, not real estate. Because here's the thing. I have a dear friend who's in the real estate game, and this woman is brilliant. She had a job where she's making $250,000 in like 2000. So what she got in the real estate, and she's clever. She did not go out. She bought trash properties. She bought stuff she had to rehab, which meant that her cost of acquisition was cheap. She bought this one house for $50,000. The house had caught on fire. Part of it had collapsed. She bought it for $50,000. That house is now worth $500,000. She bought it for $50,000. She put $120,000 in it. So she put $170,000 in this house years ago. Now this house is worth $500,000. And that's how all her property was, because she's smart. She didn't go out and buy these perfectly sound properties. She bought fuck-ups. And now she's got a multi-million-dollar portfolio of paid off properties because her cost of acquisition was so cheap. Now she's got folks knocking on the door. I think she has 25 houses that are paid off. She's servicing no debt. She doesn't work that job anymore because her real estate, I think she told me her average rent is about $1,800. It goes, and then she has a few houses, so she's charging $4,000 a month, and she's got 20. So let's just take her average rent about 2,000 times 20. That's $40,000 a month cash flow. Oh, and because it's real estate, she gets to depreciate a lot of it, so her cash flow isn't impacted. She's only paying taxes on a percentage of her cash flow. So because of depreciation, this hides a lot of her cash flow. She's not paying taxes on the full $40,000-$50,000 a month. She's, I forget, because we had a conversation, I think, because the depreciation doesn't depreciate all of her income, but it depreciates, I would say, close to half or a little bit over half. So she's only paying taxes on half of her income, but she gets to use the totality of her income. And like I said, I keep saying she's brilliant because she's smart. She went to, she went to Howard. Really, really smart person. Really, really smart person. And I keep pushing her. So you should start a YouTube channel. You can help a lot of people because you actually did it and you're honest. And, she said, I'll think about it. Because right now she's living her life. It's Christmas and she is in Brazil. She's in Brazil with her boyfriend. They're doing Christmas in Brazil. So once again, understand, when I attack these people, and I will be attacking these people because they will be angry. They will be leaving multiple comments they'll be leaving multiple comments. They will be angry. They'll be angry. They'll be angry. Oh man. Let's talk about the anger. When the internet was trying to come for me, did I get angry or did I fight back? I started laughing at these people because what their structural argument was wrong. And it didn't faze me, and I went on to make even more money. But the fact that folks are getting angry, they're getting angry. Woo, people are pissed. Also, as we go down this road, a lot of people are going to want to talk, right? Well, you didn't ask me. Number one, I am never going to do any videos talking to anyone. You want to know why? Because in their videos, they put out misinformation. They misclassified the information, right? What are they going to do when we talk? They're going to continue to misclassify the information. They're going to continue to create space. So anyone that wants to challenge me, this is how you challenge me. And no one's going to pick this up. No one's going to want to do this. It's called audited financials. Now, what are audited financials? A third party of CPAs come in and look at your books, and you have to give them full access. So if you don't give them full access, they're not going to do it. So this is third party confirmation of your wealth position. And this is why they're expensive. They're expensive. I think last one I did on myself was like $25,000. So, but that was to do something kind of crazy. So this is one, the cost of the audit financials is going to stop the majority of them. And two, the reality of the audited financials is going to stop the majority of them. Because with the audited financials, you cannot lie and say woo, and you cannot use words like investments, assets. You have to say this investment was an apartment complex, or this investment was a house, or this investment was a portfolio. You have to be specific. You cannot dance around all of this other stuff and get angry at the man in the red. Get angry. Oh, this is Christmas. It's a great day, man. It's a great day. All right. So all the links will be below if you want to go ahead and sign up for the layaway payment. Let's talk about that. Layaway program, you don't get a course or anything. You just put money down. And then once you pay up the full amount, then you can get in the course. And I might do this. I'm not saying I am, but I may do a package where whatever you put down, I will double it as a Christmas gift to you. I'm still thinking about it to see how many people sign up. But yeah, I'm gonna, cause see, my goal is to teach you how to be rich. My goal is not to sit there and talk about how wealthy I am. That doesn't help you. It doesn't help you. It helps my girlfriend out. I'm gonna say something. And this has never happened before. My girlfriend is beautiful, right? And I enjoy spending money on her. This is the first time this has ever happened. We went shopping and I got her some stuff because she's so cute, right? And I enjoy dressing her up. And I don't know, it's very different. This is like most of the time, I was just fucking the shit out of them. I ain't really give them nothing. But this one's different. This one's very, very different. So, like I said, I got a video I may post on this one. I'm kind of waiting till the main channel comes back, but I may post it on this channel as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of things we're working on. And also, I hired my first Whatnot employee. We started that January 2nd on this channel. Once I get access, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. The name of this channel is going to become Hustler Kung Fu Business. And I'm going to do the Whatnot Chronicles over here. I'm not going to do them on the main channel. And like literally, I already got the office. I actually am behind on that. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'm going to show you how to start a business with real numbers, real projections, and the real structure inside the Whatnot course, the Emerge for What. You guys will get the surface stuff. You'll get to see me talking about it. You'll get to see the employees I hired. But I will actually show you how to get rich versus just sitting here talking about, I'm wealthy. That doesn't fucking help you. And I'm sick of that shit. So just stay tuned because we about to get hot up in here. They're going to be so angry. Oh, man. I got tears in my eyes, man. I got tears. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one.